Welcome to my messy life. Take my hand and dive right on in with me. It's gonna be alright. Messy imperfect life with Leigh.
I am with the mensch, Suzy Prudden. Menchette, Suzy Prudden. Right?
Yes.
Great. I'm so proud of myself. I have these papers, but I don't want to look at them. And is that okay? Because I want you to tell me about you and what's important to you. Not those papers that have too many words and I have dyslexia.
And then you have to figure out where you are on the page.
I'm not going to read it.
Well, I'm not going to ask you to.
I've asked my assistant to read it to me while I put on makeup. Mm-hmm. And she didn't today. And then I looked at it. It's too much for me to read.
Well, it's also spaced incorrectly. It should be double spaced or even triple spaced.
And really large print.
And it would be even better if it was on a teleprompter where you didn't have to look down and up and down and up.
I don't have a teleprompter, Suzy. This is in the back of my guest house.
I know.
Right?
You can get them easily and put them on your camera, but I wouldn't bother if I were you because you want this to be spontaneous.
This is spontaneous. And I don't even really like to research people because I want to learn about you while my audience is learning about you. And what I know about you is you're a broad. You're a woman who knows who she is.
Yes.
You've been through so many unbelievable life experiences.
Yes.
And you crack my ass up. And I met you we were in a mastermind together.
Yes.
And immediately drawn to each other.
Yes.
And I think we might have pushed each other around a little bit to feel our masculine energy.
Just to figure out our space.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we hugged a lot.
Yep.
I asked Suzy right before the show started if she would be open to, maybe if she felt attracted to me, mouth kissing me. And she said, no. And I said, well, this is a show about having an open mind and heart. And could you just go with the flow? And she was like, no. And I go, why? She said, I tried it.
I didn't like it.
I have only French kissed one girl in my life. It was Rebecca Bray in 8th grade. We were slow dancing to Reunited. Our prom was coming up. I had never kissed anyone before, and I was going to prom with Jeff Mahajer, and he was 1 year older. So I said, Rebecca,
I have to practice.
Can I practice open mouth kissing with you? We were at a slumber party with 10 girls. Kathy Burke was there and Rebecca Bray. Rebecca Bray is the cutest thing ever. She's a designer in San Diego. So anyway, we were slow dancing. She's like, sure. She'd been with a guy named Steve Boyson for 5 years already. And so she was a soft, really great slow kisser and slow dancer. So we kissed. And what I liked was she has big, juicy lips. I have kind of little pencil lips, but I have a little filler right now. And we made out a little bit, French kissed. And she was so slow. And I like that because from her one kiss, I always kiss really slow. And if I kiss someone who moves fast, when I was dating, I was like, oh, nothing like Rebecca Bray.
Well, okay, I don't have that story.
No, but you have one because you've tried it.
Yeah, but it was.
Who did you make out with?
I didn't make out.
What happened?
I didn't like it.
With a woman?
Yeah, I didn't like it.
But what happened with the woman that you didn't like? Did you kiss her? Did you touch her privates?
I attempted to kiss her. I mean, when I say attempted, we started to kiss and I thought, man, I don't like this.
It's not for me either.
No.
I do like to kiss and make out, but I'm not attracted to women, although I am attracted to women.
That's a different attraction.
Yeah, I'm attracted to...
That's a totally different attraction. I mean, there's a friendship with women that you can't have with a man, and there's a friendship with a man, and I'm not talking about intimacy, but there's a friendship with a man that you can't have with a woman. It's just a different energetic, and they're both wonderful.
Yeah. And I'm so into women, and I'm so love to watch them soar. I love to watch them live unleashed. I love to watch them navigate the mess, which we're going to talk about right now with you. Will you share something messy? Because I feel like I just want to get into all kind of gab with you. But sometimes when I do that, I forget what the podcast is about.
So I'm a famous person.
Yeah. Will you share how wonderful you are? Tell me, why are you famous?
Well, I'll do my little story like I do when I present.
I don't want you to okay.
No. It's a story.
Okay,
I'm going to tell you the story that I tell when I present, because it's different than most people's stories. Most people have a story. They grew up under a cabbage patch and they suffered and they had terrible childhood and they had to wear thongs to school, etc. I don't have that story.
Oh, tell your story, sister.
because I was born very rich. And I had a very, very extraordinary childhood with houses in Florida and Westchester and Vermont and European trips and boarding schools and chauffeurs and writing lessons and art lessons. I had all of that.
What did your
stuff.
parents do that you had all that?
My grandfather's family had the richest private bank in Europe before the war. And the war enabled the war. They sold the bank to the Nazis in order to get the family out. I agree.
I'm allergic to that. That's horrible. That's bullshit.
So I come from that kind of wealth, banking wealth.
Wow.
And then during college, I was dating a guy that my mother didn't like, so she told me I couldn't date him, so I married him.
As good girls will do.
Well, it's like, you're telling me not to date him. I'll take care of that.
Yeah.
I'll
You're
marry
pushing
him.
me into his arms, Mom.
Yeah. If
You're making me do this.
Exactly. If she hadn't done that, seriously, I wouldn't have married him. But then I wouldn't have created Suzy Prudden. Because after I married him, and this was a mess, it was an 18-year mess. Although that's the year I created, that's the time we created Suzy Prudden, because I had to, he went back to school and I went to work. And I guess at that time I was 19. And then when
You were married by 19?
Yeah, I ran away and got married.
You didn't tell me the age.
You didn't ask.
Well, how old were you? For heaven's sake.
I was 19 when I got married.
Okay.
That's stupid.
Oh my gracious me. My
Yes.
daughter's 17 and she's like a 4-year-old.
Yeah. Well, so was I. I didn't know that because I was 19. You
Yeah.
don't know that when you're 19.
And your mom said, run off and
my
marry
mom
him.
said, don't marry. No, my mom said, don't
I
date
know
him.
what you heard as.
Don't date him. Don't ever
Go
see
marry
him.
him.
And I heard it as well. I'm not going to say it, but I want to. And I'll go and I'll marry him.
And that little break was fuck?
Yeah.
Okay. Fuck you.
Fuck you. I'll marry him.
Yeah.
I don't know if I used the word fuck a lot at that time.
You do now.
I do now.
I like it.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
So, I had to go to work. So I worked as a file clerk. I had the stupidest jobs. I had no skills, nothing. I was a kid. File clerk. Then I was then I was a teletype operator, where you type on this thing and it goes to. I worked for a paper company. Oh, this is amazing. This is 1963.
Wow.
And I worked for a paper company, so we would type on a teletype, and it would go to the office in Canada, and then one day I said, I can't do this anymore, and I quit. And got another job then. What did I do? I was Gal Friday, and that job I was fired.
Gal Friday, that's when you just do odds and ends in an office?
You just do everything in the office that needs to be done. And so I was doing everything in the office that needs to be done. And my most important job was answering the phone. Perry Myers. It's amazing that I remember that, because it's over 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And because I'm old. I'm going to be 76 day after tomorrow.
Can I sing you happy birthday now?
You can, but...
Will it interrupt the flow of your presentation?
Absolutely.
Then I'll wait.
Thank you. Now my flow is totally
No, you were
interrupted.
Girl Friday. Your biggest job was to answer the phone.
I was fired.
You got fired.
It was in April and 1965. And I decided at that time I did not want to work for anybody else again. I was 22. And
I love that you came to that decision at 22. It's amazing.
Yeah, I was like, why would I want to do that?
Yeah.
I have to get up and be there for somebody else. I'll get up and be there for myself.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
So what did my husband and I do? We lived in Greenwich Village at the time, and we decided to, I had gone to boarding school in Massachusetts, and we decided to go to Massachusetts. Friends of ours had rented a bed and breakfast that they ran. There was a barn on the property. So my husband and I decided to open an art gallery, knowing nothing. And we put an ad in the Village Voice, art on consignment. And there's a gazillion artists in the village. They all gave us their art on consignment. We had a little Duchevaux, French little Citroën Duchevaux. Those they look.
I don't know what you're saying.
It's a car that is so small and so light that when we would park in Manhattan, we could drive the front end into the parking space, go outside, and lift the back up, put it in the space. We couldn't take 4 people uphill. You could take 2 people uphill, but it was a little tiny
It
car.
was like a Fred Flintstone.
Yeah,
almost.
It was, and then they're illegal now, and because if you get into an accident, one of those, you're dead.
Yeah,
you're more than dead.
Yeah, like Fred Flintstone would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did we do? We got all this art. We put it in this barn. We called it Needle in the Haystack, and because you could hardly find it. And we spent the summer in Massachusetts running this gallery, and I collected unemployment because I had been fired. And I would go on to job interviews, really dressed weird, so no one would hire me. And I talked very strange, so no one would hire me, and no one did.
Could you show me kind of what you did on an interview? How'd you talk? I'm not gonna
no,
do it.
I'm more of a dimwit.
Okay, I see.
It was really fun.
A little stuttering, a little nervous.
I just didn't know anything.
Oh, I see.
If you asked me a question, it was like,
can you do Microsoft Word? I know they didn't have that back then, but
what is it? I mean, that's the kind of thing
okay, I see. I see.
And would you show me how you can type? No.
Can I say something about the story already that I love? Is A, that you said, why would I show up for someone else? I'm going to show up for myself. B, I became an art dealer. I didn't know anything about art. You can do whatever the hell you want.
You can.
Especially today, you can set up shop and do whatever the hell you want.
Yep.
I love that you did that.
And I'm still doing it.
What does that mean?
Well, we haven't gotten to that part of the story yet.
I'm going to hold my horses. I'm intrigued.
Well, I keep making up stuff because we came back to New York after the summer and decided to have a baby. It was right. We'd been married 3 years or 2 years, 2 years. And my husband was still in college. And I knew that I could not support us on a secretary's or Gala Friday's salary. So I decided to open my own business. So I opened up Suzy Prudden Studios. It wasn't Suzy Prudden in the beginning, because Prudden is my mother's name. My mother's the nation's foremost fitness authority. She started the President's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports.
Wow.
And so I grew up in the fitness world before it was a world. I mean, now it's a world.
Yeah.
But then it wasn't. There was only one other fitness school in New York City when I opened up mine.
You opened a fitness school?
Yes.
What does that mean?
That means I taught fitness. Period. That's all it meant.
Wait.
I taught fitness.
Kids don't go to school there. They just come there to do fitness.
Or
adults.
Yeah, that's what eventually happened. But we started we lived in a 5-flight walk up.
Wow.
In Greenwich Village on Perry Street. Wonderful neighborhood. Wonderful neighborhood. It's actually still there. Unlike a lot of neighborhoods in New York, the village is maintaining itself a little bit. So I figured people got fit just climbing up the 5 flights, getting to my apartment so I could do exercises with them. We moved to the Upper West Side and I started renting studio space. And then I had my son and I exercised him with little legs and arms. And my mother gave me a little baby gym and I had a baby gym. And somebody called me one day and said, oh, back up. When I started, the ads that went into the Village Voice were exercise with Mrs. Sussman. How sexy that is. And nobody called.
Yeah.
So I called my mother and I said, may I use your name? And she said, yes.
Why'd you have to ask her?
Because it's not my name. My name is Hirschland. My birth name is Hirschland. Her maiden name is Prudden. When she and my father got divorced, she took her maiden name back and became a famous person under Bonnie Prudden.
I got it.
So I'm not stupid. Prudden is famous. I'll become Suzy Prudden.
So I should keep my husband's name if we divorce?
If you want.
Okay. I'm just getting tips here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If it's helpful. Prudden was very helpful. It got me into many, many places I would not have gotten into. Once I got into the place, it was up to me to stay there.
Yeah.
I had to be good to stay. I just had to have the name to get in.
Yeah.
So
that was a smart move.
I said
already branding yourself.
Yeah. I was a household name. People still, now this is over 50 years ago, people still come up to me at seminars, I have my name here or wherever. They go, are you that Suzy Prudden?
Really?
Yeah. I said, yeah, I am.
And when they're asking you that, they're asking you because you did exercise in your 5 story walk up?
No, it's because I had my own show on NBC. I was the fitness reporter for the Today Show. I've written 11 books. I sold my first book. This is a great story. I sold my first book at a cocktail party on a Friday evening in East Hampton, Long Island.
I love it.
I was running a camp then because I wanted to spend the summers in the Hamptons. And in order to spend the summers in the Hamptons, I didn't want to stay in New York in the summers. So I thought, well, why don't I start a summer camp?
Okay, guys, every single thing she wants to do, wants to go, she thinks, what can I create there so I can be there?
Exactly.
So I can make money and be there.
Yeah. So I created a summer camp. And one of the parents, we became friendly with one of the parents and her husband. And they invited us over for drinks.
I'm sorry. Okay, keep going, but I can't get over that because people are stuck so often with one idea in their head. And you're like, I want to live in the Hamptons. I guess I'll start a children's camp. I mean, I just had exercising people and had my studio in someone's barn. Why the hell shouldn't I start a camp?
Right.
Without being a camp counselor or without that being like your meat of who you are. You just started it.
Yeah. And we became the most exclusive camp in the Hamptons. And somebody said to me, we were 4 days a week from, I think it was 10 to 4. I mean, the hours were, I didn't want to have to get up early. I didn't want to work all day. So it was 10 to 4, 4 days a week. And we became the most exclusive camp in the Hamptons. And somebody said to me, why are you the most expensive and exclusive camp in the Hamptons? I said, because we're that good.
End of story. And we're working the schedule I want to work. And I set it up to please myself.
Yeah. So it worked. My son, so good. And we were in the rented house for 2 years, and then we bought a place in East Hampton. But to go back, I was at a cocktail party, 1971, and I met Joni Evans, and she was working for William Morrow as an editor, and I told her this great idea I had about children's exercise book, and she said, that sounds like a great idea. Do you have an outline? I said, of course. She said, well, I'm going to be driving by your house on Monday morning going back to New York. I'll stop by and pick it up. So I wrote it over the weekend.
Of course, you said yes, and then you did it.
Yes and figure it out.
Always say yes and figure it out.
Always say yes and
never wait till you're ready. Yeah.
So I did that, and she took it. 3 days later, she calls me. We'd like to buy your book, and they offered me $3,000.
Which back in the day was equivalent to 20 grand now.
I have no clue.
Well, that's my money interpretation, so we're going to go with it.
Okay, I like that. I got more. So what I did then was I thought, okay, I don't know how to negotiate a contract. I'll call the William Morris agency and get myself an agent, and they'll negotiate the contract. So I called the William Morris. Now I'm doing everything backwards.
Yeah.
Everything backwards. I called the William Morris agency. They assigned an agent to me. The agent negotiated the contract, got me more money, and then I started to write the book. The only problem was I didn't know how to write. But my husband did. So he wrote the book. I gave him the program. They didn't buy the book. They bought my name. And I knew that. The second book, they bought the book, not different publisher. So I've been published by, I think, 7 or 8 New York houses.
Wow, lady.
Yeah. And each book got me more in front of, that's why I say, now I'm a publisher. Okay. Yeah. And what I tell people is the book will get you where you want to go in terms of media, in terms of presence, positions you as an expert. Okay, so I'm 23. I'm 25 now. What? How old
wow, you're 25.
25
all the
or
stuff
26.
You've already done.
20. And then one day I had this little tiny studio that I rented by the hour on the Upper West Side. And I had a mommy child class. And I had my toddler class. Because someone asked me one day, do you teach toddlers? And I said, I have a toddler, but I don't teach them. Would you? Yes. Mm-hmm. Say yes. Called my mother.
Yes to everything without saying, but I don't know how. You just say yes and do it.
I called my mother. I said, what do I do? She said, keep him busy. That's all she said. So the woman brought 5 2-year-olds with 5 mommies the following Thursday.
So I'm sorry. This time you listened to your mother when she said, keep him busy instead of F you. I'm going to let him do nothing.
No. You can't.
So you
do
weren't
that.
fighting her just over a man.
No, she told me not to date the guy. So, but I called her specifically
for guidance
to say, what do I do?
Yeah, I get it. So you were asking her. So you're taking what you asked before she was imposing on you.
Yes.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. Good distinction.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. That's what we do for each other. And so I had 6 2-year-olds in my living room for 40 minutes. And I had to learn, and I learned very quickly, how do you teach a 2-year-old? You have to change an exercise or a movement or an activity every 10 to 15 seconds in order to maintain their attention. So I learned, and then I moved to a studio, and we got more kids, and I had a mommy-child class, and this is the best thing. And
I'll be the judge of that.
You'll like it. We were struggling, and the mother of one of the kids in the mommy-child class said, I have a friend at the Times. Could I bring her to one of the classes that she could look at it and see what we're doing? Sure. I didn't know anything about publicity.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about anything. I just taught a class.
Yeah.
So I had a hole in my tights.
Darling.
I hadn't washed my hair.
Sick.
No makeup. Now I'm allergic to makeup, but then I wasn't. And I taught my 2 classes, and she came with a photographer, and she's taking notes. I know nothing of what's going to happen. And 3 weeks later, there was a 3/4-page story in the New York Times with 3 huge photographs of my little school. I had 12 students when she wrote the story. I had 75 students 3 days after it appeared in the Times.
Wow. What do you think? Why do you think that happened? Because you were just in the flow of what came in front of you, and you just kept saying yes.
Yes.
And when you do that, more comes.
Yes. And then then I was interviewed by everybody, and then they put me on television, and then and it just kept getting more and more and more, because I'm really good at it. And then in '72, I was asked to come and do an exercise segment for a children's show called the Patchwork Family. And what I did was I brought my kids from the studio, and I told a story. And as I told the story, we acted it out. And I saw that camera angles later. It was just beautiful because the children got into the story. So I was hired as a regular from then on. And I had this show that went on for about 1.5 years.
I love it.
And then I remember Newsweek called me. And Newsweek said, we'd like to talk to one of your celebrities about their fitness program. I said, why do you want to talk to the celebrity when I'm the one teaching the fitness program? Why don't you talk to me? So they did.
Yes, you asked for what you wanted.
Well,
and normally when you do, people grant your wish.
Well, that's my experience.
Yeah, me too.
So then NBC called me, and they were doing a pilot with Frank Field on health. And who was one of my celebrities? They wanted to have them on the show. I said, why do you want a celebrity when I'm the one teaching the celebrity? Why don't you have me?
You already said that story.
I know, but that was with Newsweek.
Oh, now we're with a new company.
Now we're with NBC.
Yeah, you're like, hey, let's focus on the goods here.
I'm getting the hang of this.
Are you getting verklempt?
Verklempt?
Well, you said a mensch earlier. I wanted to throw out another word like mensch.
But that verklempt is inappropriate in this moment.
Wait, you grab for a napkin. Are you weeping? Are you gonna wipe your tears? That's verklempt.
I'm not verklempt.
Okay, thank you. It was not inappropriate for this moment. You reach for a frickin' napkin or whatever that's called, Kleenex.
Well, I didn't know that reaching for a Kleenex was verklempt.
Okay, I have a question. Well, that's if you're crying, you're having coffee talk.
What's your question?
My question is this going to just keep rolling and rolling into like this big moment?
The mess?
No, I want to talk about your mess. Is this going to get messy?
Oh, yeah.
Because right now you're really glamorous and on the cover of everything, and everyone wants you to
I was on the cover of
walk around and
Weight Watchers. I was on the cover of Weight Watchers.
Why don't we get you back on that cover? Because Oprah Winfrey, right, is running it now, or has a big chunk of it.
I don't know.
Let's connect
I
you guys.
don't need to be on the
I don't
cover.
either. Whatever. Well, I'd like to, actually.
So let me see. Where was I?
So you would then sing to People magazine.
Okay. What happened was
Newsweek. No.
NBC. They did the pilot at my studio. The pilot didn't go anywhere, but somebody watching the pilot said, I'd like her on our show. Called me up, asked me if I'd like to do a segment on a show called The Prime of Your Life, which was a show for people who are now my age, 70s, older people.
Yeah.
But I was then in my 30s. And would I do an exercise segment? Yes. And I was on that show for 3.5 years.
Wow, this
Li-
is synchronicity. You're
live-
just sharing what you.
Yeah.
You're just sharing yourself, and more is coming.
And it kept coming. And that's when I was the fitness reporter for the Today Show. Then I kept calling my producer. And this is so important. So
Listen up.
those of you who are listening, watching, whatever, this is important. You got to ask. And you got to keep asking. Just keep asking. So I called my producer.
That's right, because you have a whole thing with your work. You call people like 80 times before you
That's
stop.
my follow-up system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, tell that later.
So right now, I kept calling Larry Johnson. He's the producer. Larry, I've got a great idea. I'm always talking about a show for myself. I got a great idea.
Yeah.
And Larry says, thank you, Suzy, that we're not ready for that right now, but keep calling. I keep calling. One day, Larry calls me. He said, Suzy, I have an idea for a show for you. Wonder if you're interested. And I said, just tell me what time and what day. I'll be there. So I got my own show on NBC.
What?
Yeah, it's called Fit for Fun with Suzy Prudden.
I love so much that you were just started teaching an exercise class to people, and now you're having a show.
Yeah, well, when I started my school in New York, there was only one other school in New York. Now there's 5 schools on every block. But I started in the 60s. I sold my school in 83 and I retired. And I did my Eat, Pray, Love adventure. I just didn't eat very much. And I did a lot of praying and a lot of loving and I had a lot of fun.
Did you travel around and make out with people? Were you divorced?
I was divorced. I divorced in 81. And I had my share of wonderful weekend affairs.
Nice.
It was fun.
How fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
And then I fell in love with a guy who was 15 years younger than me. We moved to California. I had run out of money. And so I created a body-mind program. I was a body-mind pioneer. And I did that for a while. And I taught people how to connect, how to use the information, how the body and the mind are always talking. And what it means. What else did I do? I became a hypnotherapist.
Well, wait. I love that. I love that. God, we have to have a little dialogue here. Like, I know you have your presentation, but I want.
I'm long gone with my presentation.
Oh, you are? Good, because I
Yeah.
want to talk a little bit now with you. But I love that you just said, what'd you say now? Because I just kind of got off my topic. What did you just say that I liked?
My Eat, Pray, Love adventure. Moved to
After that.
California.
Oh.
Body, mind.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Because I talk a lot or teach people that I work with how our body is one of our greatest allies.
Yeah.
And our body speaks to us all day long.
The time.
And we are, if you're not in tune with your body
Yep.
and you don't know it's your friend, you can't receive the messages it's telling you.
That's right.
And if you start to listen to your body, you're like, oh, thank you. And not even like, even if, oh, wow, I'm hungry. Now it's time to eat. You know what I mean? Even
Yeah.
something that simple. You don't just shove food in your mouth at set times. You let your body tell you it's hungry and you feed it when it needs it. And anyway, that kind of changed my whole thing with eating.
When I started Body Mind work, I knew a lot of editors in a lot of magazines in New York because of my fitness career. And I brought them this information with Body Mind. This was in the 80s. And they said, they're not connected, don't even bother.
Yeah.
So no one was listening. And then I moved to California.
I want to say one more thing about body and mind because it's so important. If you don't mind.
I don't mind.
Okay. I love it too when our body speaks to us with like a little arm pain or a neck crick or something.
It's telling us there's something going on in your life that you're not paying attention to.
Yes. And if we don't listen to that,
It gets worse.
it gets worse and it becomes chronic and you
Mhm.
can become diseased from the disease in your body. You can have disease.
And it's really about, it's the body tells you about your life and your life can tell you about your body. I mean, anybody who's suffering from low backache has money issues, period. They may be rich, they may be poor. Low back is lack of support in the financial area. When I used to work with Carolyn Mace, I used to do,
Wow.
I worked with a lot of great people.
Yeah.
I traveled with her for 6 years and I did the energy break. So after the breaks, I would do the exercises on stage, get everybody moving. Then I'd hypnotize them to remember everything that they needed from that weekend.
I love it.
And then I would also have them do massage. And I'd say, get down there in the lower back where all your money issues are. And of course, that caused the entire room to laugh. And it was just fun.
Yeah.
And
It's fun. And a lot of people laugh at stuff, but everything is so connected. and us to each other and
Yeah.
all of our energy and our
Yeah.
bodies. It's just amazing. It's amazing to me.
I became friends with Louise Hay. And
I've heard of her.
She used to come
Hay
over to
House.
my house.
Oh,
And
wow. Was she
exercise.
beautiful?
We had a great friendship.
Was she beautiful when you looked in her eyeballs? Was she funny and fun and loving?
She became a very, very dear friend.
Mm.
And we used to have a lot of fun together. So we're exercising in my living room.
Wait, what did fun look like between you two? Were you drinking or
We did
dancing and
no, we exercised. We didn't dance. We went out to dinner. We went out for drinks. We partied. We had a good time.
yeah, I just wondered.
She said to me one night, we were at her house for dinner. We're sitting in rocking chairs in front of the fire. She was in her 60s. I'm in my 40s. And she's looking at me. We each have a glass of wine. She looks at me and goes, "It just gets better, Suzy. It just gets better."
Oh,
And I knew she was telling me something very profound.
yes.
And I wasn't there, but I knew I would get there.
Yeah.
And it was a great moment.
Yeah, because you know what's coming.
Yeah. So we're exercising in my living room and she had a pain in her hip. And I said, "Well, Louise, you're the expert. What does that mean?" And she thinks about it. She figures it out. And we go on and keep exercising. And then I have an idea. I said, "Louise, why don't we do a video together? I'll do the exercises and you do the affirmations." And she said, "Yes." And then we did a book and we did 2 tapes and we did a video.
Cool.
And that's what got me on the Oprah show.
What? Okay, you guys, this is like Forrest Gump. He just kept running and had the best experiences of life.
Now comes the messy part.
Oh, now I'm ready. Everyone get ready now. There's all this glory and she's done amazing things. And not everyone has done hugely amazing things, but we all have mess that we have to navigate. Tell me the mess.
It was brilliant. It was brilliant. I moved to Topanga, to this tiny little house in Topanga. A guest house, gorgeous.
Not far from me, right? Just down the 101 up in the hills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And gorgeous. I had been thinking, I want to live on the California coast and the Colorado Rockies.
Oh.
I didn't know it existed until I went to the top of Topanga. I said, "There's the coast. There's the hills. I'm in exactly where I want to be." And there was a beautiful little guest house, which I rented. And I'd never lived alone. I'd always had either roommates or husbands and boys. Well, one husband. Or,
yeah.
But I would board 6 years in boarding school.
You were alone in the Topanga Canyon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Louise was very sweet. She said, "You're going up to Topanga to find out how wonderful you are. And when you find out, you'll come back." The problem that I had was I didn't want to come back. But I didn't have a team. I didn't know how to handle what happens after Oprah. And it's
What does that mean?
Well, there's a lot of energy and all of a sudden people are grabbing at you and wanting you. And I did not know how. I didn't have an agent at the time. I didn't have a team at the time. I was pretty much alone at the time. And then I had a falling out with Louise.
Why?
Oh, it's again messy. Somebody came in. People didn't like my relationship with Louise because we were too close. And
They were jealous.
I was a threat.
Yeah.
So people figured out how to mess it up. So it got messy. So basically I was shut out of her life. And
That sucks.
It was very, very hard.
Very hard because she is whatever. And you had such a close connection.
We had a really close connection.
What was her biggest book, Heal Your Body? Was that her most famous book? Heal Yourself or something?
Heal Your Body.
Heal Your Body.
Yeah. It still sells a lot.
Yeah.
What happened, this is funny. Right after the Oprah show,
I'll be the judge of that.
You'll like what I'm going to tell
Okay.
you. I'm standing in my living room in my beautiful little house in Topanga, and the phone rings, and I pick it up, and I say, "Hello." And on the other line is, "Hi, this is Oprah." Hi.
That's so funny.
It was great. She said, because she really liked my work, because it was really about healing your life.
And she was talking about that stuff too, back before it was.
Well, my book was the first one where she started talking about it.
Oh, wow.
This is in 1989.
You were her mind body break-in?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So she said, "Can you help me with certain things?" And I said, "Sure." say yes and figure it out.
Yeah.
So I was working with her, and then the publicity department at Hay House sold a chapter of my book to the Star, where they took quotes from my book and put them in Oprah's mouth, pages. And she called me up and she said, I can't ever have anything to do with you again.
Oprah?
Yeah, because of this article, because of what it did. She was very, very, very private. And this article made it look like not only is she endorsing my book, now I never okayed this article. And so they went against my contract. Anyway, Hay House, they did three, it was a mess. It was a mess. So Oprah dropped me, Louise dropped me. I ran out of money and I woke up, I got the mail one day and found out that my rent check had bounced.
Shit.
And I had no money in the bank, and I didn't know what to do. I taught exercise. I didn't know anything else. I did body mind workshops, but I all of a sudden had no money.
So what happened? How did you feel? Did you just get depressed and
Well,
ball up and cry?
it was interesting. No, not then. I'm sitting in the kitchen realizing that I'm in deep shit, and I'm going to lose my little house. I don't have a job. The money from the book comes in, sporadically. I don't have a television career anymore.
You just had Louise Hay and Oprah Winfrey in your hand.
Yeah, now I have nothing.
And now it's all stripped away.
All gone.
I think that's when the best shit happens.
Well, that's what I said. I'm sitting in my kitchen realizing that my life is completely falling apart. Now, remember, I was rich. I was famous. I was a celebrity. I was a household name. I was gorgeously thin. I had the world. And then it's gone. And I did it.
Yeah.
Nobody did it to me.
Yeah.
I did it. So I'm sitting at my kitchen and I look up at the ceiling, and I had this beautiful little house that had, it was like living in the little temple. It's gorgeous. I look at the ceiling. I said, thank you, God. You must really love me to give me this experience, because it's going to change my life. And the interesting thing to me about that was I meant it.
I got chills.
Yeah, I meant it.
Oh my gosh.
And then I had to figure it out.
You know, that's the key. That's the key. So often we feel pain, right? Or you have the realization of what I have created. How did I jack everything up? How did I hijack all that I've done? Why have I done this? And then you can ball up and you can cry for 3 months, and then you can sit up for 6 months and wallow, and then you can continue to be victim of it, right? To suffer.
I know people who are victims of their experiences for years.
Yeah. But the faster you can get to a deep knowing that every freaking thing that happens is right on point for where you are and then where you're going.
Yep.
And sometimes you have to be knocked. I mean, when you get knocked on your ass that hard, glory is coming.
Yeah. I was so...
Please make that true by telling me something's good came. Besides being here with me right now.
A lot of good came.
Okay, good.
And I had to figure it out. And my landlady was not happy because I didn't have the money. And I was working with a shaman.
One more second. She gave thanks on her knees and said, thank you, God, for what's coming. That is like one of the most powerful things you can do when you're here.
And I didn't know that it just fell out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Because it was like, oh, this is going to be challenging. I don't know how to do this. And I was working with a shaman. We were in a group of about 30 people. And he knew my story, what was going on. And he said, Suzy, you need a job. And he said, Helene, you need an assistant in your office. Helene hires Suzy. And she said, okay. And I said, okay. And I called her the next day. And I said, hi, it's Suzy. And I need a job. She said, Suzy, I can't hire you. I said, you have to hire me.
The shaman told you.
You need me and I need you. She said, but I'm only going to pay you $10 an hour. Now, I was making $5,000 a day. So $10 an hour was a bit of a
difference. A little bit.
Yeah.
Humbling.
And totally. And she said, I'm going to ask you to get my cleaning. I said, I'll get it. I'm going to ask you to do my dishes because I need somebody, and do this and do that. And I said, I'll do it. I need a job. So she hired me. So now I'm in Helene's office, and 3 days a week.
I don't know who this is.
No.
Is she just a random woman?
This is just a random woman.
Okay.
And she's a very, very good therapist. And I'm answering the phone, Helene Harris, and I go, Suzy, what are you doing there? And I'm like, oh God, helping Helene, because all of her friends were my friends.
Yeah, I mean, that's humbling.
It was.
It's like eating crow, but you're moving forward. You're not sitting.
No, I'm not sitting.
And you're listening to the damn shaman.
Yeah.
I love it.
So then I'm talking to her current assistant who's about to leave. She said, do you think you could organize Helene's office? I said, sure. An organizer gets $75 an hour. I'll only charge her $25. So I just went from $10 an hour when I arrived at 10 o'clock that morning, and 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm now making $25 an hour.
Is that great?
And so she supported me for the 3 months that I had left on my lease before I left LA. And I put my stuff in storage.
You left LA.
I did.
How dare you?
Well, I actually had to, because there was no way I could figure it out making it here.
Yeah.
And I mean, I basically left. I had such an amazing time. I mean, when you're in that situation where I had no money, no job. Well, I got jobs, but little jobs. I had no security. So I had no credit cards. I mean, I think I had one credit card.
Your family money was gone by the time you were a teenager?
Oh, no. My family money was gone. Well, my husband got half of it.
Because you did boarding schools and rich stuff when you were younger with chauffeurs. So when did the money dry up, and why didn't you have it forever?
Well,
if it's family.
Well, I was given the money in inheritance, and then when it was given to me, it wasn't a continuous stream.
Oh, you got
a chunk?
a chunk?
Yeah.
And you just rolled through it?
Yeah. And
yeah, I mean, that's what you do.
If you
don't have a money planner to help you.
If you don't have a money planner, and see, the way my life worked was I would run out of money, and then a company would call me and offer me $30,000 to be a spokesperson for their product. So I didn't have there was no reality check.
Yeah.
And then someone would die and leave me money.
Yeah.
So there was no reality check. I grew up at a very, very wealthy life, but my mother always told me we didn't have any money. So, yeah. Yeah.
Chauffeurs here again. This is odd.
And so it was skewed.
Yeah.
And so when I spent all my money, I didn't realize that I was broke because I always had money even when I was told I was broke. It was just skewed.
Did you have lower back pain during that time?
Oh, I was sometimes in such agony that I couldn't move. Yeah.
During the money stuff?
Oh, I can't remember when it was.
Well, because you said that back pain is money related.
Yeah. Every once in a while, my back goes out.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, okay. So what's my money issue today?
It's neat to know what part of the body means what. I don't know that. So then I could be like, oh, foot pain there. I must be having something going on in this area.
Foot pain is usually about feeling ungrounded.
I don't have foot pain. I was just picking apart the
body. I know,
body.
but I was just telling you.
Yes. So foot pain is not feeling grounded.
Not feeling grounded. The feet are the foundation. And when you have foot problems, it usually means that your foundation in life is shaky.
Mariel Hemingway came on, and she does grounding every day, no matter where she is. Am I kicking you?
Yes.
Awesome. She does grounding every day. She takes her shoes off and walks in the grass. Every day.
Yeah.
And if she's in the snow, she takes her shoes off and walks in the snow. Yeah. And then her husband's like, what are you doing? Your feet are turning purple. But she just said, I have to ground every day.
I have when I was working, I'm a coach also and a hypnotherapist. And when people would come to me who were ungrounded, I said, you've got to start walking barefoot in the grass. And they look at me like, why? I said, because you're not grounded, and wear hematite. Hematite is a black stone, and it grounds you.
It's so neat when you get in this magical spiritual world, because crystals, everything has energy, and there's such beautiful energy in crystals, and they've been used for healing for thousands of years, and oils and all of these things that we have at our fingertips. But we don't know a lot about most people if they're not into it, you know, but they're so simple.
Yeah. And it's literally, it's a reality. And there are people who are not in that reality. They don't get it. And then people who are in that reality understand it completely and use it.
Yeah, use it.
And I've been using it for years. I've been using, that crystal.
I want to show you
It
this
was like,
crystal.
I walked in to the studio. I took one look at that and I went, OMG, that's extraordinary.
So I was in Oregon looking at schools with my daughter, and I forgot what town it was, but it was the University of Oregon. I don't know what town that is. I'm so bad around, I can't think. But they had this kind of festival, you know, everything was happening. And over there, I saw a lot of tie-dye, and I could smell pot kind of over in that area. So I went over to that area to see what these kind of hippie people had over there. And there was a lot of stuff. And I looked, and there was this one guy, I think he was Jamaican, I don't know, but he was a big African-American guy with dreadlocks, and he had one blue eye and one brown eye. And he was just looking at me from afar. So I just went right to him. And he said, I have a crystal for you.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, show me, brother, show me. I'll buy it. And he picked this one up, and he said, I just got this. It's Tibetan, or from Tibet. And he had like a sticker on it, but I don't know where I put it. But he said it has one.
I saw that.
One in whatever this is. I'm not sure what this is. I'll have to find out.
Yeah.
Centraline. I'm going to make that up. Something green. But that might be what that one is. Centraline or something.
Citrine.
Citrine. Thank you. I'm saying everything messed up. But this, he said, I've never seen a crystal like this. And this is going to bring you wonderful things. Have this with you. This is going to bring you wonderful abundance. And I was like, oh, what's your name? And he told me his name. And then I said, put a blessing on it. Hold it and put a blessing on it. And he did. And he gave it to me. And I was like, this is my little magical crystal.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Because he looked at me. He picked it for me. He told me about it. And I accept all of it. So I know that that's coming, all of that. And it's awesome.
Well, as I said, I walked in and I went, oh my God. And
I bought that from him and this big white one. This is the one that he said was special.
It is.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
I haven't seen anything like it.
No.
So when Alicia helps me like bring things in and bring them back out, I'm like, don't bring that.
Yeah.
Don't touch that one.
So
yeah.
I have a friend here in North Hollywood who has a crystal shop.
A new one right there on Riverside? Oh.
No, this is a warehouse.
What?
And her crystals are 15-foot geodes.
Wow.
Buddhas. I'll take you there.
Take me there.
You'll just, and she has things you can sit on, and she
I love
beautiful,
it.
beautiful. Notice how articulate I've become.
Well, because you're moved by the magic and the energy you felt in there.
Yeah. And you can just go stand there and you begin to vibrate after a while.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
that.
it's great. We'll go.
And I'm going to, outside this guest house is a giant jungle gym structure, right? Like an ultimate kids playground. But all of my kids are big now, and one's 8 and she acts like she's 37. So I'm like, I think we're going to get rid of that soon. And I'm going to make a Zen garden for meditation. And I'm going to go buy something from her.
You won't know. You'll be stunned by the energy and stunned by the beauty. And also by her. She's great. She's fabulous.
You guys, everything is made up of energy. Everything on the planet, even a rock. And our mind creates what we see, right? Making sense of what we see. But we don't even really... This is so temporary. There's so much more out there. Like, it's so wonderful to open your mind to energy and realize you are moving energy. Why is my phone doing that? Would you put my phone on Do Not Disturb?
It sounded like a parrot.
Boop, boop. Boop, boop. It's right there. Thank you. It's plugged in. You'll have to unplug it. And if you just go to Do Not Disturb, I'd be grateful. Thank you. Oh, okay. So anyway, be open that you are moving energy, and know that, and know how you show up affects an entire room.
Oh yeah.
And how you walk into a room. That got bumped. Okay. And how you walk into a room, everyone feels it, and you're sharing your energy and what's going on with your life with everyone. And people sometimes run from people because they can feel the negativity. I do that.
I do that too.
I don't want to be around people who are heavy or.
Well, I was in a workshop in Las Vegas 3 or 4 weeks ago, and after the first day, I went, I'm not going back. I could not go back into the energy in the room because for me it was toxic.
I want you to be at my workshop in October, and I would like to gift you a ticket. I want you to be there.
Thank you.
Will you come October 18th?
It depends on what my schedule is because I have to check my schedule. But if I can, yes.
Do you have it with you so we can check right after the podcast is over and you can pencil me in?
Yes.
Is it like an old school planner?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought it would be.
I carry it because I can't carry my computer in my purse. So
Your purse is heavy as shit, by the way.
I know.
Yeah, I just want you to know that.
Everybody knows that.
Your purse and Minda's purse, our friend Minda.
Yes.
I'm always like, Mom, give me your purse. Because she's like, trying to shuffle around
Well, what
this giant ass
happens is
purse.
I have somebody come to my house every Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And she cleans my desk and my purse and my briefcase.
I ask my assistant always when I get overwhelmed with my purse, will you please dump it and clean it?
She does it.
I can't even look in there.
I can't either. And I don't want to.
I don't want to. It's too overwhelming.
I don't want to. I don't want to clean my desk. I don't do windows. I don't do my desk. I don't like to do dishes either. But
you know what I'm finding with dishes? When I used to walk up and be angry because my dog, one's supposed to clear and rinse and the other's supposed to load, and they're always just in the sink dirty. I've stopped getting angry at them, and I've started washing them. You can just turn that damn thing off. I don't know why it's going crazy right now, but I just started washing them slowly and feeling the warm water.
Now you've turned it into a meditation.
I've turned it into a moving meditation. Yeah. Where it's a time for me to be present with myself, to stop my crazy mind, to not run my ass off for everyone. I'm just like, it's warm water. And the dish soap smells nice. So I don't do it all the time.
I don't have a
Sometimes I go in there and yell at them, get your asses out here right now. I'll take your GD phones and cancel your Instagram. Then they're like, oh my gosh, get out. But sometimes I wash them. Yeah. Sometimes I do what I wish they would do, and I do it lovingly.
Well, I don't like to, but I do because otherwise, they don't get done. Except on Saturday when Susan comes, she'll do my dishes.
Why don't you have a young lover come over and do your stuff? Just a suggestion.
I would prefer to be doing other stuff with a young lover than washing dishes.
No, I want him to wash your dishes.
No.
And service you.
Okay. If the situation shows up,
you will not say no because you're a yes gal.
I'm a yes.
Yeah.
I'm a yes when I fell in love with Jonathan, who was the man that I left New York and moved out here with, who's 15 years younger than me. I was 41, he's 26 when we met.
Damn.
Yeah, it was fun. We had so much fun.
Because you were at your,
yes,
we're at our prime around 40 to 50. I'm 53 and I'm like, feeling it.
We had so much fun. We had so much fun. And we're still good friends.
I love it.
And we were together about 3 years.
Where do you live? Do you live around me?
Westwood.
Oh.
UCLA area.
That's she over there.
No, right now I'm living in an area where all the apartments, most of the apartment buildings are rented to kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You're thinking of the corridor.
Well, I'm thinking Westwood is loaded and there's giant mansions there. And Brentwood.
Brentwood.
But you're more with the college kids.
I'm right in the UCLA area. I've been there. I moved in there in 1997 after my second homeless experience, and which I haven't even finished talking about my first homeless experience.
Oh my gosh. When were you homeless? What's happening?
Well,
I love that.
After the Oprah, after I left Topanga, I didn't have a place to live.
So you went to the homeless?
No, what happened was it was great. I did not have a home. All my stuff was in storage.
Okay.
First night I stayed with a friend. Second night I stayed at the La Jolla Hyatt because I was speaking there. Remember, I'm a famous person.
Yeah.
So now I have no home, but I'm on the concierge floor at the Hyatt. All expenses paid because I'm speaking there that weekend.
I love it.
Then that was a Thursday night, Friday night. Saturday, I drive to Rancho La Puerta, 5-star spa in Tecate, Mexico, because I'm teaching there. I drive in Saturday.
My God, I love it.
I drive in Saturday, not knowing where I was driving to the following Saturday. I had no idea where I was going to be living the following week. But for that week, I lived at Rancho La Puerta.
I love it.
And that's how I did homeless for 10 months. I went to Maui.
You were homeless living in hotels?
No, I went to Maui and taught a workshop. So I had a place to stay while I'm teaching the workshop for 2 weeks. Then I went to Canada, taught a workshop. I had a place to stay teaching. So I
want to go do that. Later, tell me that part. I want to do that. I want to go speak places that are delicious, bring my kids, let it pay for itself. They get a little vacation, and I'm enjoying my speaking, giving my gift, and kicking it.
Okay.
Help me manifest that.
Just ask.
You're great. I want to do that,
Yeah,
God.
just ask.
I want to go travel
All
with my
you
kids.
do is ask.
I want to travel with my kids, and I will be paid to speak. So what I'm being paid covers the cost. It's fun, and I'm working, and I'm with my family when I want to be.
When you want to be.
Yeah.
Just ask.
I want that.
So one
And
thing
thank you. And thank you. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's coming.
Yeah. And then let it go.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
back to the present moment.
Yeah.
That's manifesting.
basically how you do it.
Yeah.
So I did that for 10 months, and then this is funny. So
I love when you prep me. I'm going to laugh. But then it puts pressure on me to think it's funny. So don't prep me. Just let me experience
I
it.
didn't tell you to laugh. I said you're going to love it.
We only have 5 minutes.
Oh, but I want to talk about what I'm doing now.
Yes.
Just needless to say, I had a massive adventure, and money kept showing up at different times in chunks. And I moved back to LA, became a hypnotherapist. I moved into this apartment that I'm in now 22 years ago. I was going to be there 1 year, but it's rent controlled, so I'm probably never going to move. And now I ran a weight loss center. I
want to get to now because we have like 4 minutes.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
I ran a weight loss center, a coaching center, and then I didn't want to do that anymore. So I started a publishing company.
Why not, right?
Why not?
What's next? I'll start a publishing company.
It was an
and this
accident.
is pretty amazing. Tell about him.
Well, my sister and I had a book called Suzy Prudden's Itty Bitty Weight Loss Book. And it didn't sell. It was an ugly cover. Didn't sell. So I said, can you change the cover? Can you make it smaller? What she did was she put Your Amazing Itty Bitty, this is Sell Your Home book. This is one of our authors. And when she took my name off, I had a little blip. And sure, want to take my name off? She said, I don't care. And by taking the name off, we opened it up. I said, actually, that's $1 million business. So now we have a publishing company. We've done 70 books. And what we do is we give experts a position where they write a book, 15 chapters, 2 pages each. It's like the Cliff Notes of dummies. Because 95% of Americans don't read anymore, but they all need information.
Yeah.
So we have about 300 authors right now. We have 70 books up. And I just keep making up ideas. These are only fact books. It's just how-to books. These are books by experts, letting people know their expertise.
And then they can say, I'm a published author.
I'm a published author.
This gives you a little something about what I do.
And we do a bestseller campaign for all of our authors. Bestseller. And so
Get a little bestseller sticker right there.
We're doing a campaign today. Then I help people create. This person created.
Let me see that. She's in our mastermind, right? This gal?
No.
Oh, this one is Your Amazing Itty Bitty Marijuana Manual.
Yeah, it's
13 ways.
15.
I don't have my readers on. 15 ways to use cannabis for your health.
Yeah, and she had no idea she was going to write that book when we first talked. Then I told her create a certification program, certified cannabis coaches. She lives up in Washington State, and so she does that, and she'll make about $100,000 in a weekend, certifying cannabis coaches. And he grew his business. He's a sales professional. And he grew his business from...
Little Black Book of Sales, 15 Critical Steps to Power Selling, Unlock Your Earning Potential.
He's gone from $100,000 a year to $750,000 a year using that book as a
How much to how much?
$750. Using that book as a marketing tool.
So I could write one that says, The Amazing Itty Bitty... Do they all say Little Black?
No.
Oh.
That's his.
The Amazing Itty Bitty...
You're Amazing. We've changed it since then. It's
Your Amazing Itty Bitty Power Story.
Yeah.
Increase your business or increase your finances by
15 ways to increase
by using your personal story.
Yeah, you could.
Well, maybe I'll do that.
I think that's a good idea.
Is it a lot of money? I remember feeling like when you asked me about it and showed me and talked to me about it, that there were 5 other people selling stuff. And I think I already bought 3 of them. And then by you, I was like, I'm too overwhelmed. I can't fill out another freaking form.
Yeah, it's between $5,000 and $7,000.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot right now.
Then don't buy it.
Okay, stop it. I'll do it. Screw you.
But then...
Will you give me a weird payment plan like you don't give anyone else?
Yes.
I need it because
Yes.
I just signed up for a bunch of stuff, but I would like to have a little book.
I think you need a little book.
Yeah. An itty
And
bitty
I
book.
think you need a little book about messiness
Yeah, 15 ways to use your mess.
to create success.
Yeah.
Then we have people who tell stories. My sister doesn't. My sister's my business partner. She hates stories.
How dare her?
Well,
I'm going to make her read my 15 step to honing your freaking story.
That's not a story. The 15 step is not a story. She has stories. I have stories. We tell stories, but
Yeah, you do tell stories, girl.
all the time. And a lot of people have very boring stories.
All right, so tell them where you want them to go.
ittybittypublishing.com.
ittybittypublishing.com. Reach out to Suzy if you want to do your 15 steps too.
You want to do an itty bitty book or a legacy press book, which would be your story. So we do now have legacy press. Again, I made it up. People wanted to tell the story, so I created a publishing company.
Fill a niche, right? Know what people want and provide it.
Yep. And so it's itty bitty, ITTYBITTY publishing.com. And there's a place there that you can say, I want to talk to you. And it'll come to my computer and I'll call you up. Or you can call me.
And then she'll call you 40 times?
No, I don't do that. Okay.
She has like some follow-up system, but I'm not going to talk about it now because I just want to plug your shit.
Okay, so if you call me, we'll talk about writing a book. Sure. It could be an itty bitty book. It could be a legacy press book. It could be part of our compilation book. It could be, I have a 1,001
This is too long.
Ideas. Anyway, there's lots of ways to get you published. Call me, 310-640-8885.
Go ahead, Suzy. Give it out.
310-640-8885.
For a good time.
And wait, there's more.
No, be quiet for a second. Subscribe to this podcast, please, if you haven't already, on Apple Podcast, and on YouTube, if you want to look at who I'm talking to, like this right here, this lovely lady, and on Spotify. Subscribe to my podcast, damn it, please. And you come to my workshop October 18th through the 20th. We'll put it in your book, and I'm going to gift you a ticket, and you're going to gift me a $5,000 itty bitty book. Just ask. I asked.
I'll give you a discount.
That's good enough, I guess, for now. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
I love you very much. We connected instantly.
Yes. This is what I love when you did this. Yeah.
When I'm really confident and I'm like, yeah, that was good shit.
You gave me a compliment at that seminar because I was having a really rough time receiving the things people wanted me to say.
We were at like 15-person intimate group, and people were giving you feedback.
And they were giving me feedback that I knew they thought they were helping me, but they weren't. And I was getting angry, and I could feel the anger. And so all I could think of was, don't go there, to them, because they were trying to have me make a change that I was unwilling to make. And I know in a mastermind, you can't say, don't tell me that. But
you're supposed to be open to it,
so
but they were
pissing
you off.
And you said, it's very interesting watching you because you did not like what you were hearing, but you always said thank you.
Yeah.
I remembered that.
And you were physically doing that. You were actually doing what I saw.
Yeah.
You were saying, I'm feeling upset, but I'm going to say thank you because that's why they're here, is to give me feedback, but it's triggering me.
Oh, I was triggered.
Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Well, no, thank you.
Hey, girl. Okay, let's hug. And then give me a ring. I'm in love with this ring.
It doesn't come off. It's an emerald.
No, you've taken it off. I've worn it.
No, it doesn't come off.
I don't buy it. All right, come on. Hug me. Love me tender. Love me true. I love you. I love you. Thank you for coming. And do her itty bitty.
Yeah, do it.
If a few people do it from this, then I get one for free.
Well, we could do, we'll talk.
You could do a video with me, creating it with you, and that could be something that you show people, and it gets you more people.
We'll talk.
Look at him plugging myself.
I'm
working. Because she said she's a yes girl. Just say yes, damn it.
No.
How dare you? Okay, bye, guys. Thank you for watching.